Riding the jet stream of last year's inaugural title, Tom Clancy's Hawx 2 puts you back in the cockpit as an international crisis unfolds. Should you buckle into the pilot seat, or just fly on standby? Told through briefings, radio chatter, and eavesdropping missions, the story develops after insurgents steal nuclear devices from a Russian facility. You'll switch between US, UK, and Russian roles as you track down separatist leaders and regain territory and resources across the globe.
Insurgent forces attacked Prince Faisal Air Base with as many as a dozen cruise missiles.
While a rebel force sophisticated enough to take airfields and fly fighter jets seems far-fetched, it all starts to make sense by the end.
Since when did the insurgents get an air force?
The plot does take some unexpected turns, but the storytelling is stiff and detached, lacking any real sense of drama.
After months of terrorist attacks, separatist forces have launched a surprise military offensive to take over the entire region.
Enemy ground units are closing in on the transport.
The campaign of Hawx 2 spans 20 missions across far-flung locales such as the Middle East, Russia, and Norway. In addition to dogfights, you'll pilot UAVs on recon missions, defend troops from an AC-130, and bomb power plants to knock out city lights. There's a wide range of aircraft, including the F-22 Raptor, MiG-29, and Eurofighter Typhoon, making for over 24 planes in all. Throughout the campaign, planes and weapons are assigned to you based on the mission, but additional modes let you pick and choose a bit more liberally. The game features a somewhat hollow implementation of experience points, awarded as you complete missions and challenges. Leveling up unlocks new content for bonus modes and multiplayer, including unlockable aircraft and upgrades to increase your plane's power and effectiveness.
Reaper 1-1 Sea Rider, clear for launch.
Arcade mode adds a twist to campaign levels, often requiring you to work with trickier weapons loadouts, while survival tasks you with staying alive and defeating waves of enemies in a set time frame. Any mode, including campaign missions, can also be played in co-op with 4 players online. Team battles let you target other players backed by AI forces, but success is often determined by which planes and weapon loadouts are available to you. If you just want to enjoy the scenery, there's a free flight option to explore as well.
Come on, Hunter, play the angles. You can take that guy.
As the core of the experience is about piloting supersonic jets, there's ample time given to flight fundamentals. Many missions feature takeoff and landing sequences, and some give you the option of landing at any time to resupply. There's an assist feature to help you find a path to the landing strip, but it's harder to follow the recommended route than to judge the approach on your own. You don't have to worry about monitoring fuel, but Hawx 2 does feature 2 mandatory refueling sequences, which are simply too awkward to be fun.
808, you're running out of time. Proceed to the tankers and commence refueling at once.
There's not much supporting the physical sense of flight. You don't feel resistance when making turns, and there's little consequence to flying straight up or sideways, making it easy to get disoriented at times. Despite the large roster of planes, differences between planes are subtle, lacking distinctive characteristics. Playing with the standard controller is serviceable, but Hawx does support various flight sticks for each platform as well. The game gives you some basic tutorials for lighting up the skies, but there's not much depth in the maneuvers it teaches you. Avoiding incoming missiles is as simple as dropping flares or spinning in circles, and enemy bandits rarely take the time to engage their cannons. Going on offense is usually as simple as locking on and firing a double blast of missiles, although some enemies have a seemingly endless supply of flares. Wiping out ground targets with cluster bombs and using long-range weapons is more satisfying than dogfighting, and missions that task you with manning the gun of an AC-130 or going on recon missions with UAVs make for a fun change of pace, even if they're relatively simple. Hawx 2 is at its best when you feel like you're working as a part of a team. One mission tasks you with intercepting and defending a train as troops on the ground capture it, while another has you providing intel for a spy following a terrorist leader. But all too often you have to do everything on your own, juggling between taking down bandits from your fighter jet and bombing targets with a UAV in the very same mission. The final stage, involving dodging lasers and a moment straight out of Star Wars, is particularly frustrating and ridiculous. The much touted use of satellite imagery in Hawx 2 is certainly impressive from high above the landscape, but it's not suited for the close-ups forced upon it during cutscenes. As such, textures look blurry and ground units are laughably rudimentary. The focus is generally on aircraft, but when human characters do appear, they run stiffly and their CG lip syncing is poorly animated.
I'm going to lead a hand-picked force behind enemy lines to recover those weapons.
Sound effects are subdued and fail to provide any rush from roaring jet engines or blazing cannon fire. The dramatic music fits well with other franchises in the Tom Clancy universe, with regional undertones and a signature Hawx anthem. What stands out the most in Hawx 2 are the annoyances and spin cycles of flight combat. The dogfighting neither feels particularly realistic nor particularly fun, and as a result, the most enjoyable missions are the ones that avoid air-to-air conflict.